What is up, guys? It is Benjamin Walters from the Two Irish Brothers. Welcome in.
And I'm Sean Moriarty. And, Ben, I'm just going to say this. What an embarrassment yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna get deep into this, but what can you say? What can you say? Here's the thing. How do you defend this team? How do you defend the program right now? Okay.
You can't.
What were we sold on? We were sold on that the Irish were going to take a step forward. It's year 3. The receiving core is about to come alive. And we have this golden boy, if you will, and Riley Leonard. He's coming in. His NIL deal looked awesome. It was a great look. $2 million for Riley Leonard to come here to Notre Dame to play here. It's a huge, great look for these recruits. And what? And what do? We not only fail to do what is necessary to win a game, but in the process lose at home to a MAC school that is Northern Illinois. Now, we didn't lose the 10-win University of Ohio from last year that won a bowl game. Like, that would have been a little bit more acceptable, in my opinion. A little more acceptable. Not totally acceptable, but a little more acceptable. Now, what did Ohio State do last week against Akron? How many points did Ohio State? And I get that Akron is not nearly as good as Northern Illinois. I understand that. Akron is a doormat when it comes to MAC schools, okay? But Ohio State put up, 52 points at home against them?
All I can say right now, Ben, is I was very physically ill after the game went all zeros yesterday on the game clock. I was so embarrassed, and this is where doing the show sucks.
Yes.
Because you have everybody that is going to be laughing at you. I mean, not necessarily us, but you know what I mean.
The team.
It's hard. It's hard. What I'm saying is it's hard to be sitting here with all this stuff hanging up. Hard for me to be wearing this hat. I'm not wearing my jersey, but you get the idea. All I can say, I'm surprised that I'm not losing my shit right now. And I guess the good thing about that that's the good thing is waiting 24 hours for you to calm down. Because I'd be screaming like a maniac if we did this show right after the game ended. Yeah. But it's like being a fan of the New Orleans Saints or the New Orleans Aints when that was going on back in the day and people putting the bags over their heads. That's what I feel like doing. Because you're right. I feel like we've been sold a bill of goods right now, a bad bill of goods. But I'll just start by saying this. We come into the season and we get a nice win over Texas A&M at Kyle Field down in College Station, which, 23-13. I can understand that score then because that is a really tough place to play and a very tough team to play against. But then we come home in our stadium in front of our fans and we get embarrassed by a joke of a team like Northern Illinois. Are you freaking kidding me? This has gone on too damn long. Too many times this has happened. And it doesn't even just it's not even just under Marcus Freeman in the last 4 years. The last year was under Kelly. Cincinnati comes into our house, embarrasses us. The year after that, in Freeman's first year, it was, of course, Marshall, as everybody knows. And then now you add in
last year because they were 3-9 last year. Now we have Northern Illinois.
Well, Stanford, that was the same year as Marshall, but still, it doesn't matter. But now you got Northern Illinois, who I know everybody's going to be praising as a god now. Like, oh, my God, their head coach, I don't know his name. He's a genius because he came into Notre Dame and beat us at home. No, we underperformed. Yes, they were better yesterday as far as executing their game plan and all that, but they're not the better team. Yep. And listen, I'm tired of being sold on this crap. If we're going to underperform and lose games like this, it's a disgrace. And listen, this is nothing against the coaches or the players as people. I'm talking about how they perform, how they prepare, how they try to execute their game plan anyway. I can't say they executed it. But very few positives to take out of yesterday. When does this crap end? I'm never going to stop cheering for this team. I'm not going to be like when I was a kid, like if the Bears lost or the Cubs lost, and I just take down all my posters and stuff. No, I'm a 38-year-old man. I'm not going to do that. But live up to the hype. What are you doing? We as the fans deserve answers. Because we are listen, I can't imagine how the players and the coaches feel right now, but this hurts us, the ones who truly give a crap in this fan base. This hurts us just as much as it does them. Because like you and I, Ben, we have our back, or we have their backs. We are true fans. And what makes this loss even worse is all the quote-unquote realists, the people that I hate in this fan base, they're all slobbering and jerking off over this. They're happy about yesterday. You know why? Because they care more about wanting to be right than they do the actual team. So it's just another shit fest. Everybody's laughing at this program. Notre Dame's once again the laughing stock because I've seen it all across YouTube, all across Facebook and other social media platforms getting laughed at. Our own fans booing the team as they leave the field. And you know what? It's justified. It is justified.
And right now, the realists are on to something. That's the issue here.
That's what makes me more sick.
The realists aren't wrong right now. That's the problem. And is it a problem? I don't even know. I don't know if it's a problem. I don't know because
the problem is that they care about being right than they do actually supporting the team. That's what I'm getting at.
Gotcha. See, here's the most difficult spot, okay? For a lot of us Irish fans, okay, Notre Dame, and there's a few other schools, but Notre Dame is unique in the way that it's the subway domer system.
Yes.
And us, like many others, do not live in Notre Dame land. And we get to walk into work tomorrow dealing with all of that.
Yeah.
Once again, the vast majority of us get to walk into work and hear about how Notre Dame laid an egg against a team like Northern Illinois. And it's bad, okay? There is no sugarcoating this. This is bad. Want to know how bad? We can go by statistics that show how bad this is. Okay?
Well, let me say one thing real quick.
Let's start with the video. Let's start with the video that we were going to play because that's part of it. This is where it starts, and it starts at the top, and it comes down. Okay? The one that shoulders the most blame is Marcus Freeman. Okay? And people can say, oh, well, that's so unfair. He doesn't play, and he doesn't make the tackles, and he doesn't. Okay. The captain goes down with the ship. Period, point blank. Okay? He's in year 3. You're at Notre Dame. You're not at No Name State. You're not at some FCS school that hasn't had any success for 30-something years and is on the verge of losing their program. No. You are at Notre Dame. There's a handful of other schools that when you walk onto the campus, there's an expectation. And the expectation is you win games. And it's one thing to lose a close game to a team like Alabama, Georgia, Clemson when they're good, Ohio State when they're good, Michigan when they're good. It's one thing to lose to them. Because there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. And I understand that. But it's another thing to lose to a team like Northern Illinois at home.
It never should have been a game. It never should have been a game. It never should have
Do you
came down.
know how many games Alabama during the Nick Saban era lost at home? You can count them on two hands, and that's it. And that counts SEC teams. That counts big name programs that come in.
Well, that's another point.
Ridiculous.
That's
It is
interesting.
absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Play the video, Sean. Let's play this video, and we'll start there because
Okay, well, let's give credit where credit's due. We saw this video
via
Mike Goolsby, who was on the show
a
number of months ago. This is a video that he posted on his X feed. So yes, Ben,
Twitter,
you guys,
however you want to say it,
whatever. But and also just to give everyone a fair warning, I got the video here on the StreamYard link to play, but Ben has better sound of it, so he's going to play it. Just a fair warning, you might want to listen a little closely, but we'll be quiet when this plays. So go ahead, Ben, play the clip.
What does this mean? Notre Dame Stadium quarterback debut. We don't need anything spectacular. Do exactly what your coaches tell you to do. Play within the game plan, and the rest will take care of itself. We start trying to make plays, throw the ball down the field. Then also we're playing out of character. Just do exactly what we want you to do, and the rest will take care of itself. Oh, we start to make plays and throw the ball.
Okay, let's talk about this. Okay,
let's do. And by the way, this is a good find by Mike Goolsby, so we give him credit for this.
Yeah, sure. Mike Goolsby gets all the credit in the world, and we'll be sending him this his way. Throwing the ball down the field is out of character for Notre Dame. Did we not bring in Riley Leonard? Did we not have NIL and however all that works, because it's a little bit above my pay grade, pay him $2 million? To what? Be a running quarterback like Tim Tebow and Lamar Jackson? No, we are supposed to be throwing the ball down the field. And you were expected to throw the ball down the field against Northern Illinois.
Yeah, this is where he was supposed to get his stats going.
And you're saying that this is out of character, and we need to stay within ourselves, and we need to not do anything spectacular. Not do anything spectacular against Northern Illinois. No. You do the spectacular shit against a team like Northern Illinois.
So what the hell is he saying?
Put up 77 points last week. We won't talk about this week because they lost to Cal at home. But at least it was Cal and not freaking Northern Illinois. Like, what is Freeman talking about here? Like, is he on the hot seat? Because right now I'm thinking he is. And I hate saying that. I hate being that guy that's calling for a coach's head. It's a hard road to hoe as a coach, especially at the FBS level. I get that. But are you freaking kidding me?
And when you first sent me that video, like when you saw that on our Twitter feed from Goolsby, and I hear that for myself, I'm like, please tell me this guy is misspeaking, because it happens to everybody. But I don't know, dude. That sounds so messed up.
Well, the more you look at the game plan, the more, and when I say game plan, the more that you look at what happened in the game.
The shit show? Yeah.
I mean, what? We scored a touchdown on the opening drive, but how did we do it? How many quarterback runs did we have that were designed as quarterback runs?
About 4 or 5, I believe.
I mean, I get when it's like everything breaks down and it's a borderline coverage sack and you run for 15 yards because you actually make something out of nothing. I get that. And that's what's supposed to make Riley Leonard a step above these other guys.
Yeah.
I get that because that's what a dual threat quarterback is. But when it's just constant quarterback runs, not only is that not a good thing, it's also beating the crap out of your quarterback.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, the first drive I was okay with it. The first drive I was like, all right, let's just score touchdown, take some wind out of their sails and all that. We're no big deal. But then it continued over and over and over and over again. And the stats are crazy. Like, the stats for Notre Dame football are putrid. Putrid. I cannot believe the stats. Okay.
Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start?
We'll start with one of the most disappointing situations that we could have coming into this week 3. There are 5 FBS teams currently that have not thrown a touchdown pass. Two are unacceptable in my opinion. One of them is Notre Dame. The other 4, Miami of Ohio, who's figuring stuff out. Northwestern, also figuring stuff out in a rebuild after what happened with Pat Fitzgerald. Western Michigan, another MAC school. And Air Force. Now, Air Force is like, in my opinion, in the Notre Dame category where why are you there? Because Air Force has the air raid. That's problematic. Why are you among them? And then going hand in hand with that is we're tied for 3rd worst in 3rd down conversion percentage. 3rd worst. And we're tied with Virginia. The only team worse than us, only 2 teams worse than us is Oklahoma and Houston. Now, I want to say with Oklahoma, it's probably more that they don't need 3rd down because they're getting first downs on 1st and 2nd down.
Right. Which I'd be
expecting. If I check my notes correctly, Oklahoma's 2-0. So it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And here's what makes it even worse, guys. Here's what makes it even worse. I'm going to put it in perspective because we play both of these teams this year. Okay? We actually play Miami of Ohio, who's on that other list that we just mentioned. Okay. Notre Dame currently has a grand total of 37 points through 2 games. For an average of 18 points a game. Okay, you want to hear how bad this is?
Let's hear it.
Navy has scored 87 points through their first 2 games and is averaging 43.5 points a game. Army is averaging 33 points a game.
Yeah.
Navy and Army both have passing touchdowns. Notre Dame does not. Let that sink in for a second. 2 schools, 2, that are designed around the triple option have more passing touchdowns than Notre Dame through 2 weeks.
You know what the funny part about this is, Ben, with Notre Dame? There was actually a time where it was worse, believe it or not. To the 2002, hold on a sec. 2002, the first 2 games of the season, we did not have one single offensive touchdown, period. That's passing and running. We were able to beat Maryland and Purdue back-to-back weeks in 2002 under Ty Willingham in his first season and won those games. So, but this is in the same category. It's in the same ballpark. I just want to throw that out there.
Here's the despicable part, though, Sean. And because we were talking, I saw some guys talking about this on Twitter yesterday, because I posted Northern Illinois as the number 1 worst loss in our program's history. And there were other guys that were saying, well, go back, 70s, 80s, these matchups and stuff. But see, here's the difference. Okay. The Boston College team that we played back then, or the Southern Cal team that we played back then, talent-wise was better than Northern Illinois. Big difference. And on top of that, look at our talent level currently. That's what makes it bad.
Yes. I mean, we're playing.
And it is absolutely ridiculous. It is, and it's blame all around. There is nobody not getting blamed here. Okay, I want everybody to know that. It is not that the offense gets a pass or the defense gets a pass or special teams gets a pass. None of that. There was no special teams. There was no defense. There was no offense. None. And people can say, oh, well, the defense only allowed 16 points. And the defense only allowed 3 points in the second half. Okay, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree. But did we not give up, what was that, a 63-yard touchdown?
Yeah.
Did we not give up multiple third down conversions that were third and longs to Northern Illinois? Did we not let them at the very end of the game march all the way down the field?
You can't. There's nothing that can be argued there.
We're supposed to have an elite defense. Supposed to. This is supposed to be, according to some, the top defense in the country.
Why aren't
it was not the top defense in the country on Saturday.
Yesterday, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It makes me. Sorry, go ahead. Finish up.
It's blame all around. The team gets an F+, in my opinion. I don't know what grade you give them, but they get an F+. And the only reason I give them an F+ is because of the Jeremiah Love run. There was a 24-yard touchdown run where he hurdled a defender and got this offense, or tried to get this offense a spark, and it didn't work. Sadly, it didn't work.
If it wasn't for that,
it should have been the shot heard around the world for Notre Dame. It should have been a rallying point, and it wasn't. And now Freeman and these guys got to look themselves in the face and say, what are we doing here? Because now, okay, if you went out, great, fantastic, okay? But you're going to have voters thinking about this loss all season.
Yeah, that was going to be a question I was going to ask your opinion on.
They're going to think about this. And what happens if, let's just say this, okay? Hypothetical.
Right.
We right the ship. Everything figures itself out. Freeman and the guys are angry. They come out, blow the crap out of Purdue, and start rolling. That's best case scenario. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then they went out. But then there's a bunch of other teams that went out or are undefeated. And their one loss is to like Southern Cal or Ohio State. Who gets the nod? Notre Dame in the loss at home to Northern Illinois, where we only scored one offensive touchdown, or
saying, I don't know, let's say an Ole Miss team whose only loss was to Georgia by a point at home or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and
they're going to give that. In that scenario, they're going to give it to that Ole Miss team in that hypothetical,
and justifiably so.
Yes,
justifiably so. Because like right now, I don't think we deserve the playoffs. Even if we do win out, even if we go and beat everybody else left on the schedule, I don't think we deserve the playoffs. I don't. And
I'm not feeling like it. Listen, I'm the most positive and optimistic guy in this fan base. At least I feel that I am. But how can we say that we deserve anything right now when we're putting on shit shows like this, when we're losing to teams that we should handle no problem?
Well, and listen, the other thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, going back to Marcus Freeman, I want to talk about that clip that we got from Goolsby and postgame. Look, listen, I don't know what the hell he was trying to say there, but listen, I'll just say this. If there's something wrong with Riley, if he's still hurt, then put in someone like Angeli who can help right the ship. But regardless of what it is, if there's something wrong, just say it. Or, I don't know, was there point shaving going on yesterday? I mean, that sounds ridiculous. I know most people when they watch this are going to think, Sean, you're a madman, put you in the insane asylum. Look at that. Look at the history. Losing to Marshall, who you were favored by 20 some odd points to. Same with Cincinnati before that. Well, maybe not by 20 points to Cincinnati. You get the idea. We were expected to beat them. The same year with Marshall, we lose to Stanford, who we were favored heavily by. And now Northern Illinois. I mean, it sounds crazy, but I don't know. Is there somebody on the team or on the coaching staff that has a gambling problem? They're shaving points. You know, I mean, we're in the era of legalized gambling now.
It makes one wonder what's going on.
Yeah, that's the overall point. What the hell's going on?
How can you against Purdue march out Riley Leonard? How How many times did we see in this game missed easy throws or a really bad read? I mean, there are high schools that play better offense than Notre Dame right now.
Right now, yes. Yes. But also, going back to Freeman, let's go post-game here for a second. Let's go post-game. He's saying
that's the best one. I hope you say what I'm thinking, but I go ahead. And then if you don't say it, I'll say it.
Okay. Well, I want to address not only Freeman, but some positive things of what Howard Cross had to say in his post-game. But Freeman says it's the same old nonsense, the same old bullshit that we're tired of hearing. Oh, we got to play better. We got to execute better. But also, here's the key one. We've been there before.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? Okay. You know what? Let me just say this. When Coach Freeman saying we've been there before. Here's a suggestion, Coach Freeman. Let's not go there to begin with. I'm tired of being there. Right. Yeah, you know what? You've been there once before. Let's end it. I'm tired of being there as a fan. And when do you guys, as coaches and players, get tired of being there in the first place as well? I'm sick of this crap. Let's fix it. End it. Pull your head, as my high school coach would say, Coach Denny Derricks, Geneseo High School. Yeah, so I'm tired of being there. But let me just say this too, since I brought up Howard Cross. I liked what he had to say in his postgame as well, when he said that, listen, we're 1-1. We got 10 games left to play in the regular season, and then bad math, potentially 4 more if we make the playoffs. You know, yeah, it's 1-1. It sucks. From coaches on down, we know it sucks. But we still got 10 games left to play in the regular season, and our season's not done. He's right. He's right. It's not done. But I hate saying this, dude, but it feels like it is, because how can you expect people to feel good when you guys just lost to a team that you should have handled no problem?
Right.
And you wonder why people ask questions? I mean, I hope to God he's right, but this crap, just losing to a shit-ass inferior team, I'm tired of it.
Well, and see, here's
God damn.
Here's the other bad one. Here's the other really, really bad one. And I'm gonna say my quote that I did yesterday. There were multiple media members that said that they only took certain questions from the media and they didn't allow the media to ask all the questions they wanted to.
I didn't know that, but really? Huh.
Why are we protecting Freeman like that? Why? Because right now, okay, here's the thing. I said this yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. Complacency is the enemy of excellence. Why? Okay? This is what happens when you're complicit. This is what happens. It is absolutely ridiculous. And see, here's the absolute most ridiculous part of this. Okay. Brian Kelly could not win the big game.
Right.
But how many times did we lose a game like this with Brian Kelly?
There were a few times. We lost Tulsa, Southern Florida.
We had one really bad season. One. And how many of those were on road versus at home? That's my issue here. Why is it that Freeman can get the team ready for a big game, but cannot get the team ready for an easy game? Complacency. Complacency is the enemy of excellence.
Well, I'll go back to Howard Cross in his postgame to reference that. He said it the best. And I've said it before on this show before too. He said, we have to prepare like we're playing one of the top teams in the country every week. Doesn't matter who we're playing. We got to prepare like that. You know, and I've said it many times. I don't care if it's Northern Illinois. I don't care if it's Marshall or whoever else. You play that team like you're playing one of the top teams in the country. Maybe he's watching the show. I don't know. But yeah, you have to prepare. I almost wonder if they didn't feel like they had the W in their hand already and felt like they didn't have to earn it. That's what it feels like right now. I'm not saying that that's fact, but how do you lose to a team like this after coming off a big win over a big opponent? It doesn't make any sense.
right now, we have to go into West Lafayette and play Purdue.
Yeah. They're licking their chops right now. I guarantee it.
They've had 2 weeks, and we'll talk about this in the preview, so I'm not going to take much away from the preview. Purdue has had 2 weeks to prepare for Notre Dame. 2 weeks. They had the week off this past week. After a shellacking that they put down, the beatdown they put down on Indiana State, 49-0.
Yeah.
At least they can handle their business against an inferior opponent. Something that we cannot say.
No.
And it is awful. It is absolutely awful. And Freeman and these guys have nobody but themselves to blame.
Yep. Exactly.
And I don't know what to think here. I don't. Because is this we let Marcus Freeman go? I don't know. Is this we let it just continue to go out and figure itself out?
Well,
I don't know either.
All I know is this is, this program's gotten damn near everything.
There are a lot of other coaches that are great. Like, I'll give you right now the GOAT, in my opinion. Like, the greatest of all time, Nick Saban. Okay. It took him 9 years to win his first title. It took him 9 years. Now, he didn't really have, until LSU, the program that is Notre Dame that he was coaching, like Freeman does. So I think there's that to take into consideration. But there is that. So do we give Freeman the pass? And if you have a guy that's better than Riley Leonard and Stephen Jelly or even Carr, why are they not playing? Because I don't want a country club atmosphere. Okay? I don't. I went to a high school that was, for the most part, a country club atmosphere. Ask the most famous alum of our school, Mark Burley, about that whole situation. Cut twice from our baseball program before he made it as a junior. I'll let you think about that one. Okay. I don't want that at Notre Dame. If you promised Riley Leonard that he was going to play and he was going to start every one of these games, and he lays the egg, 8 quarters, no passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions, 2 interceptions, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, 2.
You got to bench him against Purdue. I'm sorry. And hopefully it's motivation. Hopefully it's a situation where you bench Riley Leonard, you put Angeli in, Angeli wins the game, Riley Leonard's pissed, there's a quarterback battle, and Riley Leonard gets better. Okay, let me ask you this. And we'll talk about it in the preview too, but if Marcus Freeman marches out Riley Leonard in the Purdue game, what are you doing?
I'll say this. I want to explain this first. So I understood it against Texas A&M. The stats, the no touchdown passes. I mean, that's a damn good defense he was going up against.
Who their coach is, defensive mind. You get it. It's on the road. It's a hostile environment. The 12th man's a real thing in Texas A&M.
But the problem is he comes out yesterday against a team. I'm sorry, Northern is not good. They may have been better yesterday, but they're not good compared to us. They're not. Go ahead. I'll be arrogant all you want, so you say whatever you want towards me, people, but they're not good. And a team that you were expected to handle, Riley regresses. He doesn't get better. He regresses. He doesn't get better. So listen, I've never been one to try to just jump ship so damn early like a lot of shit fans in our fan base do. But this is panic time right now. And what I'm doing is this, Ben. This is me answering your question. If he wants to march Riley Leonard out there, fine. But you better have Angeli or Minchie ready to go. Because Carr, I'm not trying to discredit him, but I don't think he's ready yet.
I would not throw him into the fire.
No. But all I know is if it becomes a shit show in West Lafayette pretty quick, you better have Angeli and Minchie ready to go. One of the two, because so far with Riley Leonard, it's not working. Yeah. And I don't know if there's something still wrong with him or just what. But you better have those two other guys ready to go, and you better do the right thing and put them in if it's a shit show. That's my stance on this.
Yeah, it is. It is so hard right now to understand what the F is going on. Like, everybody yesterday looked lost. Everybody looked lost. You have a week to prepare.
And it's a veteran team.
This is not hockey. This is not baseball. This is not basketball. You get for the most part, a week. I mean, depending on the year, some teams play on Thursday or Friday. I get that. But you get damn near a week.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in your own bed. You're in your own freaking bed. You walked across campus and went to the stadium. You didn't fly across the country. You're not in some hostile environment.
Well, I don't know if you heard me say that part, but it's a veteran team, Ben.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. And something's got to give here. Something has to give here.
There is some kind of problem that's not being addressed. If like I said, if Riley's hurt or if something's going on, it's got to be fixed.
I'm going to kind of preview an article that I'm getting ready to write. I'm joining back up with Shakedown the Thunder Sports.
I'll tell you one thing. I wasn't expecting this recap to be almost 40 minutes.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Notre Dame football lacks the killer instinct that you should have in football. You want to see what the killer instinct looks like? Go watch the dynasty that was the Miami Hurricanes. Go watch the dynasty that was Alabama football.
Nobody can deny that.
And go watch, and I hate saying it. I hate saying it because Miami and Alabama aren't really rivals. They are and they aren't. You know, we've had our beef with them in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate saying it, but I'm going to say it. And people were like, oh, they're cheating. Yeah, yes and no. Southern Cal had it too during their dynasty.
They did. There's
nothing. It is something that I have not seen Notre Dame have since '88.
This is kind of
glimpses. We have had glimpses of it. We have. Okay. The year that we went to the national title against Alabama in the BCS era, we had glimpses of it. Well, that went out the window when we played Alabama.
Yeah.
And then we had it that the year that we played Clemson in the playoffs.
And
then when we played Clemson, it went out the window.
Yeah.
And we've seen it from time to time. We saw it last year with Southern Cal. It was there in that game. We saw it in the game against Clemson 2 years ago when we upset them, or 3 years ago, whatever it was. We've seen glimpses of it, but it's got to be every game, not
just one here and there. It's got to be consistent.
And
this kind of fits into what you're saying.
That's what pisses me off the most about Freeman, because Freeman played for an elite program that was Ohio State. He has seen those defenses. I was living in Columbus. I saw those games almost every week.
If I'm not mistaken,
it was the Buckeyes. I was living there when he was playing for Ohio State.
Wasn't he on that team that beat us in the Fiesta Bowl in 2006?
That sounds right. Timeline.
I'm pretty sure he was on that team. He was still.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
I don't know.
Someone's got to answer for this. Someone.
Well, and this kind of goes into what you're talking about. We were talking about this earlier. Maybe it was just out of anger. I don't know. But do you think people are onto something about the academic standards?
You're going to make me have a hot take. You're going to make me have the hot take.
Well, we can put this video into 2 parts. I don't care.
No, we'll have one whole video. I want people to hear the whole thing.
Go ahead.
The academic standard needs to go away. It needs to. I'm sorry. People could say, oh, well, okay. Everything else has. Okay. The only thing Notre Dame has left is independence. Okay. And even right now, I'm questioning the independence. I'm questioning it. And I'm questioning the academic standard too, because what?
I mean, I know it's a 4-year, a 4 for 40 plan. I get that. I get it.
But
I support it. But
here's what you got to ask yourself. Okay. Here's what you have to ask yourself as a fan. At the end of the day, do you think that anybody, when it comes to football, gives 2 F's about the fact that there is these strict academic standards at Notre Dame?
no. Honestly, no. Why kid ourselves? That's an obvious answer.
And for what? For what? That's my thing. Got to ask yourself that. Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it anymore. Just not.
Well, it's like, you want a person to have a good quality of life after they're out of school. And obviously, as we know with sports, that they're going to end eventually for you. If you're a professional athlete, college, pro, whatever, it's going to end eventually. And you got to have something to fall back on. I get that. I get it. But you're right about asking that question.
And here's the final thing I will leave you guys with. Okay. Notre Dame's supposed to have an elite defense. Supposed to, right? You know what the one thing we haven't done yet is? No sacks.
I didn't notice that, but you're right.
We have no sacks. We have interceptions, but no sacks.
I got to see this for myself. Not that I don't believe you.
But what does sacks do? What do they do?
We have one.
They stop drives. Oh, I'm sorry. We have one through 2 games. 2 games.
And Howard Cross is the only one that has
We
that.
played an inexperienced offense in Texas A&M and a MAC school in Northern Illinois. 1 sack. I stand corrected. 1.
Still, it's 1. It's not that much. It's not that much better. So I don't know what else to say, Ben. It's just this. Yesterday was just another terrible letdown. And moving forward, I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to keep the hope after a game like this because it's just the problem is it's not just a one-time occurrence. It's happened way too much.
It happens every season. We only have a handful of seasons where it doesn't happen every season. And I'm not going to say like we lose to a team like NIU every season, but we come damn near close every season. Every season. And I get that you're going to have close games. I get that you're going to have close games. I get it. You're going to have them. Everybody has them. But the close games need to come against Alabama and Georgia, not Northern Illinois every single season. Every season.
Yeah, I know.
Go all the way back to 88. I bet you cannot find one season where we had a close game against an inferior opponent.
I mean, the only one that I can think about from that season, and I could be wrong on this, was Air Force, but I think that was like a 20-6 final score or something like that. But that's only because you're going up an option team that eats up a lot of clock.
Yeah.
So, well, it's been 45 minutes, Ben. I think we've covered everything we can about that disgrace yesterday. And, again, I want to make it clear, I'm always going to stick with this team. This is the team that I chose to cheer for. I'm not going to just be like some other clowns that we know and just switch teams. But I'm going to tell the truth. I'm not going to be like a quote-unquote realist that is happy when they lose just so I can be right. But I'm going to tell the truth. I'm not going to stop loving this team. This is where you get tested as a fan. Because I'm myself, Ben, I don't know how you felt. I almost didn't want to do the show. I really didn't.
It's embarrassing.
It is. So the only thing left I have to say for this, when talking to yesterday's embarrassment, fix it, Notre Dame. You are better than this. Quit going there, Freeman. I'm tired of hearing the same crap every post game. We've been here before. We didn't execute. Start changing it.
Put it in the Louvre. We've been here before.
When do you get sick and tired of being sick and tired? So, but Howard Cross was right. 10 regular season games left. We'll see what they do coming out of the gates here, heading into West Lafayette.
Yep. This next game will be very telling.
Oh, yes. So, I don't have anything else left to cover. Do you, Ben?
We could go on for a few more hours about things that we could talk about, but we're not going to go there, so I got nothing.
Well, it's well over 45 minutes. I hope you guys watch this from start to finish. So on that note, everyone, I'm Sean Moriarty.
I'm Benjamin Walters.
And as we always say, good night, God bless, and even as tough as it is right now, go Irish.
Go Irish even on the bad days.